What's going on, guys? Welcome to FalHunter. My name's Chris. This is Tom. We got good old trout here running around. And today we're going to be talking about just the basic necessities of how to get started duck hunting.
Yep. This video will be for someone who hasn't hunted yet, and you have no gear. You just need some bare minimum stuff to get started. And we've come up with a list of things that you need to buy. It'll just be the bare minimum. You can always add more, but for you to start hunting tomorrow and you have nothing, you'll need to pick these up.
Yeah.
We'll go into a little detail on each one here in a second, but let me list them off for you just so you have a list. So you need waders, you'll need a hat, you'll need a jacket, whether that be a sweater or a jacket, that's up to you. A bag, whether that be backpack or blind bag or whatever. Some sort of decoys, a call, a gun, some shells, and possibly a seat. So let's break some of these things down to you. For your waders that you guys are going to pick, what options do they have out there?
So as far as waders go, you can either go with a neoprene or you can go with the breathables. Mm-hmm. Obviously, depending on where you're hunting.
What do you use?
I use neoprene. I run a 3mm neoprene, and I like them. I like them because they're durable.
Yeah.
You know, like you can run through brush, all that kind of good stuff, and I mean, every once in a while they'll get a tear, but for the most part, I like the durability of them. Mm-hmm. And they're warm. They're really warm.
I have breathables. I just started using breathables this season. I've had neoprene my whole career until this season. I was told I was missing out. You know, I decided that maybe I was missing out, so I tried it out. And trout, come here. Sorry, that's old trout running around. So yeah, I tried the breathable, and you know what? I mean, it's obviously early. I'm just trying them, but I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. The breathables are just so much more comfortable. There's a lot more room in them. Like I said, not only are they keeping me plenty warm, I don't notice any difference between the warmth between the two. At the same time, there's a lot more air in there, so you're not getting over warm.
Yeah.
And they're new though, so I don't know how long they're gonna last. But one of the good things I think me and Chris both like to key in on is we bought them from Bass Pro, and Bass Pro's warranty is unbeatable. So if something happens to them, I mean, you bring them back to home. You can bring them back to Bass Pro, and they'll take care of you.
I've picked up waders from Bass Pro before. You know, it doesn't really matter the brand, and yeah, I got in holes with them within a couple months and turned around and returned them and got a brand new pair.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, the warranty there is good, but I mean, you've got companies like Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Lacrosse, all that kind of stuff, who make some very good waders. I don't know, my thing with breathables is that I feel that they're not durable enough for the type of hunting that I do. You know, in and out of the boat. Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, so I have them on. We'll see if they last or not. But I mean, I don't see any issue with them. So we'll find out obviously when I get a couple more seasons on them.
Yeah, I mean, just the overall like comfort of yours. You know, I mean, they're a lot lighter. You know, you've got air circulating in them and all that kind of stuff. It's nice. I don't know. I might be making the switch over to breathables, but like I said, his are a trial run, and we'll kind of go from there and see how it works out.
And as a beginner, I mean, not even as a beginner. I mean, I got about 10 years experience. I just bought an expensive pair of waders, which was these breathables. Every season before that, it was a $100 pair. You could pick up $100 pair of waders in a lot of places, so you don't need expensive ones. If you want and you have the money for it, by all means. Yeah. But just if you're just trying it out and just getting into the sport, you're trying to save money, see if you even like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the $100 pair of waders. That's like I said, I hunted that with nine of the 10 years I've been hunting. I've used a $100 pair of waders. Just every season, I kind of had to pick a new one up. But so don't go too expensive if you don't want. If you want, go ahead and go expensive. It's up to you. Hats. What are the options for hats? So they have a hat. You can do beanies. You can do nothing. Is there anything else out there?
Nah, I mean, that pretty much covers it.
Face paint?
No.
You can do a couple things.
Yeah.
Don't do the face paint. We're just joking. You don't need to go out there looking like you're going to war.
Exactly. Don't do face paint. It's unnecessary. You know, guys say, "Oh, it hides the shine on your face." Well, if you keep your head down and you're not looking directly at the ducks shouldn't see your face to begin with.
Yeah.
Don't Don't do face paint, please. Save yourself some time.
I think Chris has hunted with a beanie a few times. I think I've seen you with a beanie, maybe not.
Yeah, I used to run a beanie back in the day.
I don't suggest them. It's opinions. It's all opinions. But my opinion, I prefer the hat only because it stops the glare, especially on sunny days. You could see the glare come off people's cheeks. I like to hunt. I mean, other than Chris, I like to hunt with a bunch of new guys. They don't hunt very often. They don't have their duck feet. I don't know what you'd call it with them yet. And they like to stare at the ducks. They like to get ready. I mean, they're pulling their shotgun up to shoot, and the birds are still 200 yards away. I mean, I always tell them, and they like to come in beanies. I tell them all the time, take that off, put a hat on, because if they're going to be moving around a lot, I'm going to need them to put a hat on, at least cover something up for me.
Biggest thing is just to stay still. Whether you're wearing a hat or a beanie, just stay as still as possible. Yeah. Slow movements.
And then jackets, I mean, we currently, it depends on your weather. If you need a heavy-duty jacket, a light jacket, a sweatshirt, I mean, it all depends on what you guys are going to hunt. Like we said, this is beginning gear, so whatever you're going to go hunt is what you're going to need. If it's not cold and windy and raining out, you probably don't need a jacket. And you're going to be a lot more comfortable in a sweater. Yeah. But it all depends on what you're hunting and where you're hunting. So decide on that. If you want to buy both and try them out, buy both. I mean, I have both, but I tell you, I hardly use my jacket. I think you can see my jacket hanging up behind Chris over there. I have a sweater on probably about 90% of the time.
Well, and then again, that goes back to where you are in the country.
We're in California.
So. Yeah, we're in California. So, I mean, I run a Drake pullover. It's got a little zip up here. It's a little half jacket. The bottom part of it is fleece that I tuck into my waders. The outer shell is, I believe it's waterproof because, I don't get wet. But, I mean, that's all that I run. The temperature doesn't nearly get as cold here. And so with me, I mean, I don't know, I don't get cold very easly, so there's no real purpose for me to have like a big, heavy jacket. Like I said, I just run that Drake pullover, and it's been fine. But yeah,
I only have that jacket on when it's raining. My sweatshirt's not rainproof, so I have that sweatshirt on 90% of the time, and the only times you'll see me with the jacket if it's not raining is the morning run. If we're in the boat or somewhere where it's cold out, for the very first morning I have it on, but as soon as I get in the hole or I'm getting ready to hunt, it comes off. You normally don't need it, but if it's raining, you'll see me put it on. I'll have it on through the rain, but that's about it. You guys can get what you want, what you think is going to help out for the weather that you guys have. And then bags. Me and Chris actually both use something different. What do you use?
So I run the Rig'em Right just blind bag. I like it. It's got a bunch of pockets, some dividers in there. I can put my shells, my calls, everything like that. It's got a nice strap to where I can sling it over my shoulder, and it allows me to have my back free. So if I'm throwing a decoy bag on my back, it doesn't interfere with that. But I mean, you run the.
I have a backpack.
Yeah, you run the Final Approach backpack.
And one of the reasons he actually doesn't like the backpack, it's the same reason why I like it. I like it because I don't have to carry a blind bag around my shoulder, and it gets my shoulders free, especially if you're swamping through some thick marsh or something like that. You get anything you get out of your hands or your arms, it's harder to lose something if it's attached to you. So I like having the strapped on backpack. It still doesn't affect you because usually blind bags come with some pretty thick straps, so I'd throw a blind bag on as well. Now I'm not going to say one's better than the other. I'm sure Chris has hunted plenty of times and wished he had a backpack, and I've hunted plenty of times and wished I had his blind bag. They both come in key moments of when you want them and what's easier. And I mean, his is definitely easier to access things. He has a little blind bag, keeps his stuff right there. And mine comes in plenty of good times too when you want a backpack.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing. I mean,
you'll need some sort of bag though. So whatever you guys want, pick it up. You'll need to throw snacks in it. Your shells obviously go in there. Your calls, whatever, your cell phones, your keys. You can throw all those in that bag. So make sure you guys do pick up a bag. And then of course, if you're hunting, your guys are going to need decoys. So pick up some decoys. That's another item on your list.
Yeah, decoys.
Starting off, you probably don't need to buy 15 dozen. I mean,
no.
Chris actually, even to this day, I mean, he has a lot of experience. He still only hunts with a dozen or two decoys.
Yeah, exactly.
So for you guys starting off, just buy a dozen decoys. We'll have a whole entire video talking about decoys, but we like quality over quantity. We've done the game. We've done both. I mean, I could walk around my garage here and bring out 10, 15 dozen decoys that I don't use.
Yeah, everything from some some cheap flambos to Avian X and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, some of the higher end.
So and everybody, even if you buy cheap decoys, you're gonna end up replacing them. So in my opinion, you're gonna save money in the long run buying nice decoys right off the bat. You're never gonna replace those nice decoys.
Yeah.
So go out, and if you're just buying a dozen to get started, go buy 1 dozen nice decoys.
Yeah, exactly.
Go pick them up.
And like I said, it's dependent on where you're hunting. You know, here in California, we are a mixed bag state. So, you know, if you're hunting a mixed bag state like that, it wouldn't hurt to pick up some teal.
Yeah, if you're just doing a dozen, I mean, I don't think you could buy anything less than 6. Obviously, this is just temporary, so it might be smart to buy everything that lands with mallards. That's why you see a lot of people throw a bunch of mallards out. Buy half a dozen mallards, half a dozen teal. I mean, that's a good beginner bag. Or just buy a full thing of teal. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Full thing of mallards.
Honestly, like if I was starting off, I would run maybe some teal and either widgeon or pintail.
Yeah,
here
that'd be
here personally in California.
No, that'd be fine too.
If you're out in the Midwest where you're killing mallards,
and you can buy half a dozen. So if you're gonna run out with a dozen, then buy a half a dozen of each. Just grab two guys, teal, widgeon, teal, mallards, whatever you want. Grab those, and that'll be your little decoy setup. A call. We have a calling. We have a couple calling videos. You can watch those. But for a beginner, I mean, I wouldn't get any type of duck call other than a whistle. A whistle is a very easy call for any beginner to learn. You can learn the basics to watch our video to learn the basics. You'll literally be able to use that thing after watching our video. Yeah. And it's very cheap. You could pick a whistle up for $10, $15, $20. Just go pick it, and you get it at almost any outdoor store. Just go find a whistle and bring that. That way you guys could have some sort of calling ability when you're out there. And then a gun. You guys obviously need a gun, otherwise you're not going to be going boom when the birds come in. So
a little important.
Yep. Now it's all up to you. I mean, we're going towards beginners here, so I'm going to tell you to go pick up a cheap shotgun to decide if you get better. And also, you ask a lot of guys, and we stick by the same thing too. A pump shotgun helps a beginner out. It helps you with your shot placement. It helps you slow down. I mean, there's a huge learning curve going from a pump to a semi-auto. I mean, I was decent at shooting with my pump. When I felt like I was ready for the upgrade, I upgraded to a semi-auto. I definitely de-risked a lot because of the ease of pulling the trigger. I mean, you see the bird, bam, 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 your shot's out. Did I just shoot 3 times?
Going to the plug.
Yeah, you go to the plug. You have to really practice your holding, waiting, watching, and adjusting each shot, and the pump helps with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and again, if you guys are just starting out, there is no need to go out and buy a $1,000 shotgun, a $1,500 shotgun,
or a $3,000 shotgun.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, you're not just starting though. But
yeah, exactly. Just start with a pump. You know, the Remington 870, whether it's the Express that shoots 3-inch shells or the 870 Super Mag that shoots 3.5s. You can pick it up from anywhere from $350 to like $450.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
A Mossberg 500.
And those guns will last forever.
The Mossberg 500 is also another very reliable pump shotgun. It's it's a base model entry shotgun, but I mean, you can put them through mud. You can put them through anything.
I've harvested tons of birds on my 870.
Exactly,
tons of birds.
I mean, they are extremely reliable. That's exactly what you need. I mean, it's a gun that's almost bulletproof in a way.
Yep.
So
then obviously with the guns, you guys are going to need shells. Figure out what you're shooting. Obviously, if you have a gun that doesn't shoot 3.5s, don't buy 3.5s.
Yeah.
Figure out what you want to shoot. 3 inches is usually the norm. You can go less. You can go more if your gun shoots more.
Yeah.
So pick up some 3-inch. If you had to ask my suggestion, I'm going to tell you 3-inch deuce is probably a nice all-around shell. You're not going to go wrong. You can get better than it, but you're not going to go wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want my suggestion, I'd just go pick up some cheap 3.5 deuce or 2s.
3.5 or 3-inch.
3-inch deuces. Sorry.
There you go.
Go pick up some 3-inch 2s.
Yeah.
And run those. I mean, if you're just starting off again, you'll have a bunch of a big learning curve. So you'll be able to find your brand you like. But right off the bat, just buy something cheap. I mean, and go out and have some fun. See how you like it.
There's no need to spend money on heavy shot or whatever like that. I mean, if you're just starting off, you got brands like the Winchester Super X.
Yeah, and you can pick those up pretty cheap.
Fast Steel, Estates, all that kind of stuff. You can go to Walmart or your local sporting goods store and check them out. And I mean, they perform.
Yeah, they perform fine. I mean, if you get birds landing in your decoys, I mean, No matter what you're shooting, you should be able to.
I mean, a duck at 25 yards is going to die regardless. You know. All right, so seats.
So first off, we suggest as a new hunter, if you're not hunting, I mean, you should definitely be hunting with someone. A new hunter should always be bringing someone with experience to show them the ropes. Even with somebody being new, and if you're not with somebody being new, I highly suggest going to a refuge and hunting a blind.
Yes.
So if you're hunting a blind with pit blinds in it, and they usually have their own seat, so it depends on where you're hunting. You might not need a seat.
Yeah.
If you do need a seat, if you're not hunting a blind that has its pit blinds, its own little things in it, then you obviously need a seat. You're not going to want to stand up the whole time. So there's multiple seat options out there. I mean, I started off with a bucket, 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, I like a Thule seat or a March seat type deal, something that's got a stake on the end where you can stake it down into the mud. Again, just know the area that you're going to.
And there's seats like these also. These right here. I think I picked both these up at Big 5, and they were only like $20 as well. So
yeah, if you're hunting in California, know what refuge you're going to and know what type of blinds per se that they have. Some have pit blinds, which is nice. Usually they, it's just basically a pit in the ground or tanks or whatever like that, and they have a seat that's in them. You have to be careful though. Some refuges that have blinds per se isn't necessarily a blind. It's a designated island type deal. That's where a Thule seat or a March seat or a bucket or anything like that comes in handy because it allows you somewhere to sit.
Yep. So make sure you know where you're hunting and buy accordingly. Like I said, I fully suggest that you start your hunting career off getting blinds that have their own little blind manholes and they have seats in them. So that way you guys don't have to worry about bringing your seats. Plus the hunt's a lot easier like that. Being a new guy, you don't have to plan on now what island you're going to take, what part of the island you're going to shoot, where the birds are going. It's all set up right there. You only have that option. You're getting in that blind and you're shooting in front of you. You only got so many ways you can shoot in that blind. It takes a lot of thinking out right in the beginning, so I suggest you start there and you build your skills.
So then, I mean, we can talk about, here in California, I mean, there are a lot of guys that run decoy carts. Pros and cons to decoy carts. Well, usually they run a decoy cart on top of a jet sled type thing, and the sled's used to float across the pond. You can pick one up if you'd like. I don't personally feel that it's necessary.
It all depends on what you guys are bringing out.
Exactly.
I mean, with our little cheat sheet of lists, I mean, you could walk that out. I mean, that's an easy walkout. You throw a bag, decoys on your back. You have your backpack on your back.
Yeah.
The seat will strap to your back, and if you're hunting a blind, you don't even have the seat. Other than that, everything else, you're putting your waders on, your clothes are on, you have everything. You could walk out with that. So, but again, if you're not walking out with that, or you're going to a far walkout spot, which we are not suggesting at all for a new guy, you will need to figure out how to get that stuff out there, especially if you start bringing more decoys, electronics, whatever you're bringing. So you got your carts. A lot of guys, if they allow it, have a bike with a little bob stroller behind it. They throw their stuff in there. I mean, you guys can figure that out how to get it. But like I said, for an ease of hunt, I suggest taking a blind and just walking out with nothing, just with the stuff we told you to get.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff right there is manageable. You can throw it on your back. It's fairly light, and you're good to go. And
then your don't need, just so you guys don't get a little confused. I know you guys watch all the videos. Every single hunter on all these videos, on the TV shows, anything you're watching, all will have a dog. Sometimes they have multiple dogs. You don't need a dog. Do we like hunting dogs? Yeah, I wouldn't hunt without my dog, but this is something I didn't buy him on my first season.
Yeah, exactly. I've been the bird boy more than a few times.
Yeah, that's part of learning about hunting. I mean, just before you get a dog, you don't even know if your dog's gonna like it. You don't even know if you're gonna like it. I mean, don't go buy a dog your first hunt out.
No.
Learn how to hunt yourself first before you plan on teaching something else how to hunt. What you do with that with no dogs, you just shoot, and when you drop a bird, you have to get out and you go get the bird.
Yeah, you go get them.
You go walk through the water, get your own bird, bring it back.
We've all done it, It's just one of those things, It's just learning how to hunt. Who knows? You might like it, you might not.
Yep. So another thing you don't need, this is up to you guys. If you have money and you want to blow the money on it, go right on ahead. But you don't need expensive gear to start off. I mean, I still have a lot of cheap gear. It's just when I break it, I replace it with some more cheap gear. Like Sitka jackets. It's a nice jacket. When he said it's not a nice jacket, he's kidding themselves. But I'm not about to go spend $600 on a jacket. Maybe one of these days, but not anytime soon. You guys don't need that. Go buy some cheap stuff to get started off.
Exactly.
Replace it as you go. If you decide you really like it and you really need a expensive jacket after you already bought a cheap one, replace it with a Sitka. Or get another expensive. There's tons of expensive brands out there.
It goes from, jackets to...
Waders. My breathables were $360.
Yeah, exactly. Jackets, waders, guns...
everything. You get expensive everything. Just
exactly.
Try it out first, and if you guys start getting the hang of it, if you start getting the hang of it, then start replacing it with the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I know this is going to be all over the internet. I know you guys are even new hunters who haven't even hunted yet. I know you guys have this in your head. You do not need electronics to start off. You do not need. And it's going to hurt you getting electronics right now to start off, because electronics aren't like they used to be. The electronics used to be so new, no matter what, the birds just dive bomb them. The birds know this stuff now. So there's a time and a place for the electronics, and with you being new, not even knowing how to hunt, you're not going to know when that time and a place is for the electronics. So just don't buy electronics yet. Learn the game, and once you start learning some more, you'll start learning when to implement any type of electronic and how to get it out there and whatnot. So just do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole electronic video too. We'll just stay away from electronics when you're first starting. Stay away from dogs and stay away from expensive gear.
You say those words. I just got a little proud. It means something that I said actually sunk in.
Come watch our electronic video.
Exactly.
I have to put this guy in his place in that video.
Oh man, yes, electronics. Don't worry about mojos. Don't worry about anything like that. Just
learn the game. Learn the basics first. Learn the basics. Electronics is not basics, so don't go that route.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it, guys. To take our little cheat sheet again to sum it up, I already told you in the beginning, but so waders, hat, jacket, a bag, decoys, a whistle, a gun, shells, and possibly a seed if you need it. It's all that stuff is based on where you're hunting. So make sure you guys know where you're hunting and buy accordingly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Drop us any comments below. You guys want to hear anything else, or if you guys have any other questions. Hey guys, Tom here with FalHunter. I just wanted to say thanks for watching this video. We have a ton of new videos coming out with really good information, so please hit subscribe and like, and remember to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Come visit us on our website, Instagram, and Facebook, and drop us a comment below. Thanks again, guys, and see you soon.